I've installed thousands of root air conditioning systems in the past 20 years.
We're still in the world of May 11th, 1995.
And they're underway.
Last year, Daytona, USA had its full release in the arcades, becoming one of the most successful arcade games in the world. Sure, it did revolutionize the use of texture mapping on polygons, bringing 3D graphics into a whole new sense of realism, which in recent years was thought unimaginable. But the best part about Daytona, USA is its excellent music. What a lovely American game to be playing in this American-themed show. The fumes of burning rubber and the carbon emissions clouding the track just scream America. Sega Saturn's Daytona USA is a rushed port, which, graphically, doesn't come close to the quality of the arcade version. This could be one of the key reasons why the Sega Saturn empire collapsed. But it's still pretty fun. The magic of the arcade's Daytona USA is still there. You'll know when to brake, and can get a feel for the tracks pretty easily. It's an enjoyable port, even though it could have been way better. The addictive racing is all there, challenging enough to make you master each course with precision. Somewhat decent controls, also there. And of course, the sweet, sweet music is there. Takanobu Mitsuyoshi is the man you have to thank for these amazing Speedway tunes. He is a hero of music. There's two modes. Arcade mode is a race against the clock and the opponents. At every checkpoint, you earn more time. Saturn mode is just a race against the opponents. No stress over running out of time. Difficulty is hard enough. You want to get ahead of as many cars as you can at the beginning of the race before the pack gets bigger. Memorize the courses and familiarize yourself with the interesting controls. Steering and braking feel fine, but when passing cars on straightaways, your car will automatically recenter itself when you're done steering. Kind of feels like a schmoop sometimes.
Welcome to Victory Lane. You made it.
Few things are more satisfying than hearing that sound for the first time.
You place first.
Now time for a spelling lesson. Even though there's just 3 tracks, the amount of time spent mastering the course and fighting your way to first more than makes up for it. Track design is pretty well done. Quality over quantity. Daytona USA is one of the highest grossing arcade games of all time in the world. One would think bringing this to the Saturn would help the console, but it instead became one of the first big reasons for the Saturn's downfall. Why? The graphics. Draw distance in the Saturn version is much shorter than in the arcades. Looks like you could easily drive off a cliff in some spots. Compared to Daytona USA's first game in the arcade, the Saturn's has less polygons, worse looking textures, and a lower resolution. Frame rate was one of the biggest problems. Going from 60 frames per second in the arcade to 20 on the Saturn. It looks abysmal by comparison.
Hey, somebody's right on your tail.
By this point in time, Ridge Racer and Daytona USA are already released in Japan, both in the arcades and on their respective home consoles. The world already has an idea of what both of these games look like.
And they're underway.
At this time, 3D graphics is the next big thing. Nobody cared about how good the gameplay is. The vast majority of gamers were looking for the best 3D video game experience for their living room. Graphically, the PS1 handled its port of Ridge Racer far better than the Saturn did of Daytona. This gave gamers the impression the PS1 was better at handling 3D worlds than the Saturn. Whether or not that's true is a totally different story, but this is what gamers thought, based on those two games. And first impressions matter.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
So people saw this as, wow, this amazing looking arcade game is gonna be in my living room, that's awesome. But the results looked a little disappointing. I mean, it was still fun. Publications still gave the Saturn's Daytona USA very positive reviews. But with time, it could have been better. First impressions and impatient marketing are among the biggest reasons for the American Saturn's long-term failure. It seems like they rushed this game out the door just for the sake of a really popular arcade game becoming available as a launch title. It's good, but that's about it. It's good. Well, at least we always got 2 players, so let's go ahead and plug this on in. I gotta find a friend or dog. Okay, we'll play with the dog. Where's the 2-player option? Try pressing start. See if that'll work. No. What's going on? Oh, okay.
3.
Joke about horsepower. Yeah. Time to go from 1995 back to 2017. The Saturn is long gone, and it seems like other than the actual Daytona 500, rolling starts have come to a rolling stop. Or so we thought. Daytona 3 Championship USA is coming to the arcades at some point soonish. Nobody knows when, but the important part is the man who's being brought back for the soundtrack, Takanobu Mitsuyoshi. But there's one downside. Pretty much everyone who's played it so far says it looks disappointing and plays like
Start your engine.
I win!
Have a class? Yeah. Also, full speed. All right. 1, 2, 1. Oh, yeah.
Now, time for a special PSA to advertisers. Look, we get it. It's hard to force people to like a video game console which got released too early due to impulse marketing and upper management's bad decision-making skills. But we here at Sega have 3 easy steps to get your powerhouse sold. Step 1. Scare your audience.
Saturn!
Literally scare them away from your product. It's called playing hard to get. And eventually, those consumers will come around and buy your console thanks to you frightening the living bejesus out of them.
We're having a breakdown. We're having a breakdown. We're having a breakdown. Having a breakdown. We're having a breakdown. What is going on up there?
Does he design the games? No, he executes them.
Please, don't disappoint him.
Reality always hurts.
Welcome to the real world.
Sega Saturn.
Step 2. That's pretty much it. Just scare them. A lot.